Would you feel comfortable having another baby with someone who disappears to the bathroom 3 hours a day? Because that's basically my husband. My husband is 36, I'm 36, we've been together 11 years, married for 7, and we have a 3.5-year-old. And look, our marriage already has issues. I'm in therapy trying to work through a lot of resentment I've built up since our first kid. But there's one thing that sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud, and somehow it's also a huge part of the problem. My husband poops. A lot. Like, every single morning. And not just any morning, during the most chaotic part of the day. When our toddler wakes up, needs breakfast, needs to get dressed, and needs to get to preschool. That's when he's in the bathroom. For an hour. Then after lunch. Another bathroom session. Another hour. And then at night, right when it's bath time and bedtime for our kid. Bathroom again. Another hour. So basically the 3 hardest parenting windows of the day, he's gone. Now technically he says it's not all pooping. It's like 30 minutes of that, and then a long shower because he says he feels gross afterwards. But the result is the same. I'm the one waking up with our kid. I'm the one getting him dressed. I'm the one doing breakfast. I'm the one doing bath and bedtime most nights. We both work full time, by the way. Sometimes my husband will drive our son to preschool, but only after I've already gotten him completely ready. And the thing that drives me insane is that apparently, his bathroom schedule is flexible. Because if we have somewhere to be, or we're leaving early, magically he can go earlier, or later, or somehow not at all. So clearly there's some control there, which makes it feel like, by default, he just chooses the busiest times of the day. And that's where the baby conversation comes in. For the past 2 years we've been delaying having a second kid because his job situation was unstable. Totally fair. I agreed to wait. Now he finally has a stable job. So I bring it up. And his answer is always the same. It depends on you. And he even tells our son that. Our little boy asks for a baby sister sometimes because all his friends have baby sisters, and my husband says, well, that depends on mommy. But the truth is, it doesn't depend on me. Because the issues from our first baby never got resolved. The lack of initiative. The fact that if I don't specifically ask him to do something, he just doesn't feel responsible for it. And now this bathroom thing. So I asked him directly, how are we supposed to handle a newborn if you're gone for 3 hours a day during the hardest parts of parenting? And his answer. He said his parents can help. His parents live 2 hours away. That's not come help once in a while. That's not watch the baby for a date night. I'm talking about daily parenting support for years. And his first solution was basically someone else doing his part. That answer honestly made me so sad. Because I wasn't even asking him for a perfect solution. I just wanted him to recognize that this is a real concern and think about it with me. Instead it felt like he immediately outsourced the responsibility. I've even asked him to talk to a doctor about the bathroom thing. He says he already did and that it's normal. To be fair, he does have really bad hemorrhoids, and I know he's in pain. I know he actually is having bowel movements. But the timing, and the length, and the phone in the bathroom streaming videos the whole time, it just makes it feel different. We even have a bidet sitting in a box. He bought it 2 years ago. Still not installed. And he says it wouldn't help anyway because he prefers showering after. So yeah, at this point it's not even just about the pooping. It's about the pattern. If I go on a work trip a few times a year for a few days, he just calls his parents to come stay. If I bring up that he doesn't step up enough, he says I'm gone too much for work. If I talk to his parents about it, they make excuses. His mom literally told me he's kind of dumb and that I should just teach him and be patient. Which, honestly made me feel even worse. And now I'm sitting here thinking about having a second child, knowing the first time already pushed me to my limit. And realizing that after 2 years of waiting for the right time to have this conversation, there was never actually going to be a right time. There was always going to be another excuse. So now I'm stuck wondering, am I crazy for feeling like this is a real problem, or is this actually a preview of what parenting 2 kids with him would look like? Update. You ever feel like you're holding everything together, all by yourself? Like, No one else really notices, no one else is showing up, and somehow it's supposed to be fine? That's my life right now. I wake up first because someone has to. Our toddler is already awake, bouncing around, asking for breakfast, toys, clothes, and I haven't even had time to think, let alone breathe. I start getting him dressed, brushing his teeth, making breakfast, and I tell myself, okay, maybe this morning I can survive without losing my mind. And then my husband disappears into the bathroom. And it's not like a quick 10-minute thing. Nope. He's in there for almost an hour. Sometimes I think, okay, maybe it's half pooping, half showering, but the reality is he's gone at the busiest time of the day, the exact moment I need help. I know he can adjust, because if we have somewhere to be, somehow he makes it work. But by default, he chooses the chaos window, the one where our toddler needs both of us, the one where I can't catch a break. I juggle breakfast, clothes, shoes, backpacks, wiping spills, refereeing tantrums, trying not to lose my patience. I glance at the bathroom door like it's a wall I can just walk through, like magic. But it isn't. And every time he comes out, I'm frazzled. I'm frustrated. And guilty, too, because I know he's in pain. He has hemorrhoids. I get it. But pain or not, there's still this pattern, this absence, this, choosing comfort over showing up. Then comes lunch. I try to take a breather. Maybe I can eat something without chaos, maybe start laundry, clean up a little, breathe. And then it happens again. He disappears into the bathroom. Another hour. Same routine, pooping, showering, phone, streaming videos. Our toddler wants snacks, wants to climb on me, wants me to play trains and blocks. And I'm here, thinking, if I can't even get a minute to breathe, how am I supposed to survive another baby with this pattern? I've tried asking him nicely, carefully. Can we maybe shift the time? I say. Can we figure out a way that works better? And the answers I get, it's like a slap to the face. I need to feel clean. Or, it depends on you. Or nothing at all. Disappearance. That's the answer. Evenings should be calm. Should be family time. Bath time, bedtime, reading stories, maybe a little snuggle before the house goes quiet. But nope. He vanishes again. And I'm left with a toddler who's overtired, grumpy, bouncing around like chaos incarnate. I try to get him cleaned, dressed, teeth brushed, pajamas on, books read. And the entire time, my husband is gone. I asked him point blank, how are we supposed to handle a newborn if you're gone for 3 hours every single day during the hardest parts? And his response? His parents can help. His parents live 2 hours away. That's not a backup plan. That's outsourcing your job as a parent. And it makes me feel invisible. Like I don't matter in those moments, like our child doesn't matter. It's not even about poop anymore. That's just the symbol. The real problem is presence. Responsibility. Partnership. Initiative. I need someone who sees the chaos and says, I'm here. Let's do this together. And he doesn't. I sit down at the end of the day after dishes, laundry, toddler asleep, house semi-tidy, and I replay the day. Morning, bathroom. Lunch, bathroom. Evening, bathroom. 3 biggest windows where help is needed, 3 hours gone, repeated every single day. And I think about another baby and I can't even imagine it without feeling panicked. I wanted to wait for the right time. I waited 2 years for him to stabilize at work, thinking finally the time is right. But there is never a right time. There's always an excuse, a conflict, a reason why he can't just show up when we need him most. Even when I try to imagine it differently, maybe he could adjust. Maybe he could take a shift in the schedule. Maybe he could prioritize us. I know deep down that's unlikely. Because this pattern has existed since our first child. And all the conversations, all the attempts to make it better, all the trying to teach him or wait for him to notice, it hasn't worked. I've even tried talking to his parents, asking for advice, thinking maybe if they see how it affects me they'll step in. Nope. Excuses. He's kind of dumb, according to his mom. I should just be patient, she says. I should teach him. But I'm already exhausted. Teaching someone how to show up for their family shouldn't be my job. It shouldn't fall on me every single day. I've thought about therapy. Couples therapy. But even that feels daunting. How do you convince someone that the default pattern that makes them comfortable is hurting everyone else? How do you make someone see what's invisible to them, while you're the one living it every day? And I've realized, I'm not even sure I want to bring another baby into this. I want 2 kids. I want my son to have a sibling, to have someone family here in the US, to not feel alone. But the thought of another baby, knowing what I already deal with, it terrifies me. I look at him sometimes, and I love him. I really do. But love isn't enough when the person you love consistently chooses comfort over presence, excuses over partnership. I keep thinking, maybe I've been too patient. Maybe I've given too many chances. Maybe the reality is that I need to protect myself, protect my son, and maybe even protect my marriage from collapsing under the weight of these repeated absences. So now, I'm stuck in this loop, wondering, do I keep hoping he'll suddenly show up? Or do I stop waiting and start protecting my family from the chaos before it grows bigger? Because right now, even without another baby, I'm running a marathon every single day, and I'm not sure he even notices. And I keep asking myself, quietly, painfully, is it fair to bring another tiny human into this? Or is that just asking for more heartbreak, more exhaustion, and more resentment? Would you? Could you trust that pattern to suddenly change? Or would you protect yourself and your family before it's too late? Finale update. You ever feel like you're holding everything together, all by yourself, while the person who's supposed to be your partner disappears when you need them most? Yeah. That's my life. I wake up first because someone has to. Our toddler is already awake, bouncing around, asking for breakfast, toys, clothes, and I haven't even had time to think, let alone breathe. I get him dressed, brush his teeth, make breakfast, and I tell myself, okay, maybe this morning I can survive without losing my mind. And then my husband disappears into the bathroom. And it's not 10 minutes. It's almost an hour. Sometimes I think, okay, maybe it's half pooping, half showering. But either way, it's gone at the busiest, most critical time of the day. The exact time I need help. I know he can adjust, because if we have somewhere to be, somehow he does. But by default, he picks the chaos window. So I juggle breakfast, clothes, shoes, backpacks, spills, tantrums, trying not to lose my patience. I glance at the bathroom door like it's a wall I can walk through by magic. But it isn't. And every time he comes out, I'm frazzled. I'm frustrated. I'm guilty too, because I know he's in pain. He has hemorrhoids. I get it. But pain or not, there's still this pattern, this absence, this, choosing comfort over showing up. Lunch comes. I try to eat, maybe fold laundry, breathe. And then, he disappears again. Another hour. Streaming videos, scrolling on his phone, showering. Our toddler is full of energy and needs attention. And I think, if I can't get a moment to breathe, how will we handle another baby? Evenings should be calm. Bath time, bedtime, stories, maybe a little family piece. Nope. Bathroom again. And I'm left with a toddler who's overtired, grumpy, bouncing off the walls. I try to get him clean, dressed, teeth brushed, pajamas on, books read, while my husband is gone. I asked him, how are we supposed to handle a newborn if you're gone for 3 hours every day during the hardest parts? And his response? His parents can help. They live 2 hours away. That's not help. That's outsourcing. And it makes me feel invisible. Like my needs, our child's needs, don't matter. It's not even about poop anymore. That's just the symbol. The real problem is presence. Responsibility. Initiative. Partnership. I need someone who sees the chaos and says, I'm here. Let's do this together. And he doesn't. I replay the day in my head. Morning, bathroom. Lunch, bathroom. Evening, bathroom. 3 windows where help is needed, 3 hours gone, repeated every day. I think about another baby, and I can't imagine it without panic. I wanted to wait for the right time. I waited 2 years for him to stabilize at work. I thought finally the time is right. But there's never a right time. There's always an excuse, a conflict, a reason he can't just show up when we need him most. Even when I try to imagine it differently, maybe he could adjust. Maybe he could take a shift in the schedule. Maybe he could prioritize us. I know deep down that's unlikely. This pattern has existed since our first child. Conversations, attempts to make it better, teaching, waiting, it hasn't worked. I've even talked to his parents. His mom says he's kind of dumb and I should just teach him, be patient. I'm already exhausted. Teaching someone to show up for their family shouldn't fall on me every day. And I've realized, I'm not sure I want to bring another baby into this. I want 2 kids. I want my son to have a sibling, to have family here in the US, to not feel alone. But the thought of another baby, knowing what I already deal with, it terrifies me. I love him. I really do. But love isn't enough when the person you love consistently chooses comfort over presence, excuses over partnership. I keep thinking maybe I've been too patient, given too many chances. Maybe the reality is that I need to protect myself and my son before it gets harder. And so, I sit here, after another day of juggling everything, exhausted, frustrated, and heartbroken, and I think, maybe the real question isn't whether we're ready for another baby. Maybe it's whether he's ready to be a partner at all. Because right now, he's not. And I can't risk another life, another tiny human, getting caught in the same pattern. I have to think about what's fair for me, for my son, for the family we already have. I want to hope things can change. I want to believe he'll step up. But the truth, I have to live in the present. And the present shows me the pattern, loud and clear. So I'll keep trying, keep loving, keep hoping. But I'm also learning that sometimes love alone isn't enough to carry a family. Sometimes you need presence. And sometimes, protecting your family means facing a truth you never wanted to. And now I'm left asking myself, and maybe asking you too, what would you do if you were me? Would you wait for him to change, or would you protect what matters most before it's too late?